Well, she was sleeping until not anymore. Mhm. See if I can grab her. Right. There she is. She's probably going to turn on the background. And she was sleeping. Fritzy was trying to find her. Now she's here to rage terror. Look at that. Yeah, go do your thing. Turn on the background. Great. It's been safe so far, but maybe not anymore. We'll see. All right, Grings. All right, just letting the world, or Florida is still airing itself out. As it North Carolina is too, Georgia. So yeah, it didn't rain. It did rain a lot here, but not like if you live on the coast, you're probably underwater. But isn't that the risk you take living on the water? And you never know, someone's gonna come wipe you out. And so far, she's behaving herself. Okay, so the Biden energy, it's kind of a weird vibe going there. It's hard to get a full. I mean, I have some indications, but nothing really showed itself of his demise. um, it's definitely dying. I mean, obviously he's 80. I mean, he is. Yeah, I can definitely feel him dying. Is that what they're going to wait for? You're just going to keep running, just keep him out there until he croaks. That might be the plan. Yeah, I can definitely feel a lot of that. I just had some indications things are on the, he's on his way out some form, in some way or another. So it's really hard to say. You can say that they're gonna move him out of there, or just wait for him to die, whatever it might be. So it's never, I was gonna make a video about it Wednesday, but nothing's gonna happen. But he does do the word that keeps coming to mind, or the phrase "let them eat cake," that keeps coming through with these people. Jeez, they really just don't give a shit, do they? What is the Democrats? I mean, it's not just the Democrats; it's a lot of others, but still, it's pretty bad. Of course, the Republicans are nothing to get excited about either. So yeah, we're definitely in some kind of political psyop, obviously, and of course, the population's not really seeing it. So the creature continues his smelling of people, and just telling people like those of was it Hawaii just to get lost, basically. So it's not Ukraine, so they don't care. I don't think people have quite figured that out yet. Apparently not. I guess that's why they stay in power, because people haven't figured it out. So just keep screwing people over until they figure it out. But obviously, it's not going very far. And giving all that money to Ukraine, they just don't care. There's just not enough protest. The energy protesting it is just not enough. Just the energy itself, not necessarily have to go out and protest. Just the vibe of saying that's not right. That's not enough doing that. So he's going to keep doing it. What, migrants are getting more rights than homeless people being taken care of more than a homeless person? It's like, so the dismantling really has to do with the population, just doesn't care. On an energy level, it just has its own lives to work on. So as the country continues to decline, well, once it gets too bad for people to start realizing it, it might be by then too late. So and of course Biden's mental decline. Not that those that are controlling him care, and also this Trump situation, where it's looking like he won't even be able to run for president. I mean, he's running, but doesn't mean to be on the ballot. So I think Gavin Newsom energy keeps coming around, but it's not really clear on that one. We're in the unknown. We're just, not that it matters, but as the country continues to slide into the oblivion, and just is not enough of the population to really care. They can conspiracy theory all they want and everything. It's just not enough. It still looks like the population, at least in the U.S., is just looking the other way. So this thing just continue to happen. So it's just the way it is. So yeah, the let them eat cake energy is quite. I don't know. It's funny, but it's like, gee, it's real. It's real. They're not using that term. Not that most would even know what that means anyway. But they do. I mean, the actions say a lot. So yeah, they just don't care. Yeah, we're just in kind of a dystopian reality. It doesn't have to be that way, but apparently that's what the people want. It's the majority. And once again, they don't care. So whatever. I guess when the country goes under, they'll just move to some other country, maybe, or just whatever, however it goes. Also, the energy of MJ12 has been coming through. I don't know why. Just before I started setting this up, I just felt their energy, and I haven't tapped into them in a long time, so I can get their perspective. Of course, it's not much different than the Biden energy. I guess I can go from the, just see where that goes. But yeah. Anyway, but yeah, Biden is definitely on the way out. Energy. I mean, it's only a matter of time. It's hard to say when someone crosses over. I mean, they make that choice. Of course, everybody wants the right. It's kind of a laziness of it. Just wanting, exactly time he's going to die or when is this going to happen. It's like, you're not here just to see it. I mean, you have to kind of live life instead of trying to cheat it all the time, which is a lot of that going on. It depends on how you look at it, but either way, yeah, Biden's going to leave when he's ready. I mean, there's energies keeping him here. He's not quite ready yet. He is enjoying this as for the ego side of him. But he's going to get a shitload of karma for this. Oh yeah, he's just packing it on every day. I mean, the amount of karma he's building for himself. I mean, if you can think he's a clone or whatever he is, it doesn't really matter. He's still packing it in. He might have an actor, maybe it's an actor playing him. It doesn't really matter. It's still going to him. And I mean, I believe they definitely have some kind of body double. Some they have to, and they can send them to Europe or whatever. I would say that's normal. So of course the media is going to cover everything up. So they've been doing a damn good job so far. So yeah, especially that stuff that came out about Obama and his drug habit ways, and it's funny how the media just keeps covering things up. So so I was saying the Hunter Biden thing is heavy energy on Biden also. So that's that might be another reason why it's closing in on him, and Dad is fading out. I mean, they're just keeping a skeleton around because they can use them. Yeah, once Dad's gone, or the creature, I wonder what Hunter's gonna do. Maybe they'll just throw his ass in jail. Who knows? Maybe not. He'll probably take that over or something like that. Some kind of luxury resort. And also Mars. I don't know, just some Martian energy came through about the Anunnaki. Of course, Martians are a lot different than Anunnaki. Of course, you always say there's Martian, Anunnaki beings, and so on, and whatever. I'm not going to get into all of that. It's like a melodrama, at least with Anunnaki. Well, some have been Anunnaki rulers in previous lifetimes, and they can't handle the karma of their ways. So they're here, and they just can't. You can't just release it. It's not as simple as they thought. Well, they still have the ego mind of, they can do no wrong. They're always right, or whatever it might be. Of course, you can say that with any being, but Anunnaki, as some that really have a hatred for them, run into some that don't like them for obvious reasons. Because they do play God. Some of them do. So, but the Martian frequency that's here is, I would say it's more toxic. I would say it's worse. They don't hear about it. They keep themselves pretty, the feminine toxicity that's around. That's part of the Martian energies. So, um, yeah, and the Anunnaki always seems like a soap opera. Just a feminine soap opera. I mean, it's like a masculine, but mixing with feminine, and they just can't seem to get along. I mean, not all Anunnaki are like that, but quite a few of them are. So, anyway, so of course, there's always different perspectives. So, all right, we'll see what we get from this. I'm not going to go too much into UFO stuff. It's kind of beating it to death. Some are obsessed with it. And I have to get therapy for it. But anyway, I was on economy, private sessions, scheduler. Oh, we have a shop here. Oh, yeah, that's right. So I changed over to GoToMeeting, and now I'm using wrong thing. I'm going to use Ring Central instead because GoToMeeting sucks. Or yeah, GoToMeeting's not that great. WebEx is not that great. Ring Central is very similar to Zoom, so I thought GoToMeeting was going to work, and then I started using it, and then yeah, it has problems. Yeah, some webinars, Discord, behind the scenes. Yeah, at least Ring Central is pretty lightweight, and GoToMeeting is a little bit resource heavy, make things difficult. WebEx is even worse. WebEx is for the 1%. Of course, there's also Riverside, which is for podcasts. If it was a little bit more user friendly, I would use that, but it's not really designed for meetings, really. But Riverside looks really good as a Zoom alternative. But not really, yeah, it's not really designed for meetings. It's just designed for everything but meetings. Yeah, it's a little bit complicated from what I'm gathered, but anyway. Okay. Yeah, it's overkill. It's just like 4K videos. I can use that. And even GoToMeeting was pretty more than what you need, basically. All right, we're going to the political climate energies. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Obviously, timelines continue to change. Obviously, there's a lot of arrogance within the Biden energy. But yeah, as for Trump winning or getting anywhere, I'm not sure about that. Just, are they going to start World War? I mean, if for president, yeah, as for a running mate, is for Ukraine, they'll probably win. Something about that. They're not going to let that go. I guess that's why, Biden got it. I'll probably more to it than that. But, as long as you're okay with the Ukraine war, you got yourself a political future. So figure that one out. Of course, also the immigrants being treated better than, the homeless people and everything. So, yeah, hopefully eyes wide open one day. So, yeah, I don't have to focus too much on that. Of course, others focus too much on the positive and live in delusional land and get manipulated. So, whatever works for you. Sometimes that's the better world to be in. So I guess that's why we're in this situation. It's probably half of it. So okay, all right. We'll go into the political energies a little bit, the Biden energy or whatever energy that's there. MJ12 frequency. We go more into that in the Mars perspective. So all right, blessings. Greetings, this is Hunter Biden consciousness. You can say the old Biden or father Biden is on his way out, and they actually are preparing for him to leave. So they've been seeing more signs, and they're not making it public. And some of you might be able to tap. It's not the easiest thing to tap into, but of course he's been at an older age for such a long time. And there's just a lot of energy protections, so you can't read their energy and so on. There's also remote viewers that are manipulating the timelines. But either way, there is a shift in your political climate. It's not going to, of course, make it so. This corruption is going to try and stay in power. So you're actually seeing political royalty. And it's not always seen that way, but that's pretty much what it is, especially when they keep getting away with everything. So it's kind of like hijacking the whole political system, so you can just continue their fraud. And not to say all politicians are under this psychosis, but quite a few are. It's like, yes, it's like the mafia, very similar. Now, it's like its own mafia. So we're doing that type of, you know, insecure mindset to control others. I mean, they do know they're destroying themselves. And the Hunter Biden energy knows it knows going to burn in hell too. Pretty much, he pretty much is already doing it, but they don't care. And even there's like some Anunnaki energy if you're looking for that. There's a piece of that. It's actually worse than that. But it's basically just a selfishness to control others and just to continue to keep that power range even after the father dies. So you say preparations are being made before he dies to just make sure the power continues, hopefully in secret as I'd like to, because the presidency is just bringing up too much attention. Biden or the Hunter Biden might move to another country eventually. Maybe not Ukraine, but go somewhere where he's safe because they're coming after him now. But not yet. Yeah, you can't really flee the country at the moment, but that is out there. So as for the political future, as for Trump's energy, yes, once again, the royalty corruption does not want any Trump there at all. They're living the life. It's not just a hunter energy, but there's more to it than that. You call it the deep state, whatever you want. They like things the way it is, where they're in power. So having a Trump or Republican energy get there, just they're gonna, even if they make themselves look horrible doing it, as long as they stay in power, they really don't care. Because once again, the population really isn't doing anything about it. They really don't care. So many people hate them. That's why. So that's one of the reasons why they're getting away with this so much. Yes, Trump's popularity might be increasing, but that does not mean he's going to win. Obviously, due to political trickery, of course. Greece is the MJ12 frequency. Of course, yes, there's alien energy still around. It's just the MJ12 is not as powerful as it used to be. You say it's taken on different names. It's more a quote than ever before. And it's just characters that are not going to make themselves public. A lot of them are actually in Vienna. And just it's controlling your political climate, actually your world climate. Of course, there are advanced technologies that will most likely never become public. Unless for a karmic reason. Right now, they just feel it's too much for humanity. Of course, they're doing a lot of genetic engineering, basically the future of humans. Many are worried about artificial intelligence, but actually how humans are being genetically engineered. It's good to be aware of that. Also, of course, it's not the easiest thing to see, but as diseases continue that are not necessary, you see the virus situation going on. Are the elites trying to do a bioweapon for the future? That's always on the table. Why are these things are allowed? Well, it has to. Yeah, that's a tricky situation. Part of it is a reset. I mean, humanity has to go. I mean, humanity's gone through disease throughout the past. It's now going to more of a bioweapon direction instead of what it used to. So it's a clearing. It's for humanity to figure itself out, to clear out the souls that are not really getting anywhere with this reality. It's different ways. It's an exit point. So that type of situation. I mean, there's different scenarios. It could be also through nature, through flooding, through storms, things like that, for another reset, for many taking their exit points. It doesn't necessarily have to be about depopulation. Really, it's just about is the soul going anywhere, or has it accomplished what it needs to accomplish, and that's the exit point. It's different ways, because some souls feel like they're just not getting anywhere in this reality, and they take an exit just like that, and that thought might come in just instantly. So as for the MJ12 frequencies, Of course, obviously your biolabs are part of the MJ12 and alien DNAs and all that. Of course, you have your as you call it secret space or just their technology labs. Most of them are underground, but you'll hear about 'em every once in a while. It has to do with the mind also, not necessarily how, well, yes, how to control it, but they know not to go too far with that. I mean, they already use television, they already use entertainment for that. And of course, news is pretty much an entertainment energy also. So that's always going to occur. And they are up in their ante with it. They do make sure, it's up to, I mean, humanity can snap out of it. And if none of these mind control programs work, then so be it. But they're still working. And so they continue to do it. So if humanity on a worldwide just rejects it, it won't work anymore. No, it will not. I mean, no matter what the elite do, it won't work. So we'll just leave it with that. Blessings. Gracious, the Martian frequency. Yeah, it's not exact. Martian beings are not always the most liked. Some do have a major ego and enjoy every minute of it. Some of them are athletes. Some of them are unstoppable athletes. Doesn't mean they're the best person. Doesn't mean they have to be a big person either. They could be a small person with a big ego, wherever it might be. Sometimes that's the best type of person to be. It's like you're just a little guy, huge ego, and nightmare to be around. And they love every minute of it. Now, does it come back to them eventually? I mean, there are Martians that actually care about the human race, or any race for that matter. And none of them are very stylish. Like they really took what they've learned as a Martian being and just really brought like design to themselves and just a certain look that is unique. But most don't are able to pick up on it because it's not that many that are willing to show themselves. It's kind of like a rusty type of energy, at least a rusty type of look, you can say, or velvet is one of the colors that they use, at least in a stylistic way. As for Martians, was the Martians and their is our perspective of the Anunnaki. Anunnaki feel like they can rule the universe. Yes, a lot of them do connect to their femininity. They basically, yes, mind control is one of the greatest creations. Of course, they mind control each other and destroy their societies very easily. So they experiment on themselves. You can say this world is like an extension of themselves, for better or for worse. And as for the like Marduk and trying to rule as an Enlil and Enki, and it's just some of them just, yeah, they just got here first, almost like a Christopher Columbus type of situation. And they didn't always necessarily know what to do with this world. So they just, and humans made them angry, or some of them made angry, especially Marduk. Marduk got really pissed off. So it's just, well, humans went against their control, actually. So, but as for the Anunnaki royalty that's here, it is currently in your British families, but also partially in your Hebrew, your Israel. Well, there's a kind of a divide in the Israeli Jewish families because some are Anunnaki, some are Orion energies, and there's a little bit of a war going on there. You say Iran has a lot of Anunnaki also, but not necessarily of a negative nature. It's just you have all these different royalty families, yes, with huge egos. They just want power, of course. And now there's just power in general, just to say they have more power than someone else. Not necessarily to control others, and just so they can rub it onto someone else and rub it into their face. Yes, it's that petty. It's that bad. The genetic engineering, well, they also, of course, they wanted to, you could say partially was to control this reality. Of course, there is good sides to Anunnaki, just they've abused it just like anybody else on this world. There's a lot of abuse. Not everybody abuses everything, but some power are known to abuse. And it caused a lot, the Anunnaki strain did inflate the ego here. And many Anunnaki beings that are human don't want to put light on themselves. And yes, some are healing their galactic lives, the wounds. Uh, yeah, some have been generals in their past, Anunnaki generals, and they don't feel like they did anything wrong, but still have to go through the karma of it. So yeah, and some of them tried to move your moon and move things around as they want. That didn't work out to us. That's what I call galactic wars. A lot of your wars of your history, of course, are galactic. I mean, through the human experience. I mean, wonder why certain people just don't like each other. It just still has a galactic root connected to it. We do see eventually your world finding some peace, eventually. But for that to happen, major truths have to come out, no matter how much it hurts, as many don't want to hear it. It's just not really come to that time yet. You're working towards it, where you become just a truth reality. It doesn't mean you have to go around and tell everybody that your truth or anything like that. But basically, the truth about your reality hasn't really been, because that can really disturb a lot of people here. And it's just, they can't, even some of that knowledge can't even be accessed because they know that'll just cause just chaos here. It's not necessary because many won't know how to process it. So obviously you have your galactic roots, but it's much more than that. It doesn't mean you come from like ants people or anything like that. No. It's just like truths that many are ignoring within their own lives. Violence in the family has not healed. Just little. That's why you're getting like pieces of truth throughout history, just little nuggets here and there. Sometimes it has to be. It can't even be said correctly verbally. Like they have to code it because many are that sensitive. Well, because it can trigger a great amount of people. But you will come to a time where more, major truths will hit your reality, and that's when eventually the world will start to change more to getting real with itself. Right now, yes, many are ignoring the criminal element that's here, and that's kind of typical of this planet. It's done that in the past. One thing about France, say what you want about them, they did not put up with it. The U.S. has not quite figured that out yet. Not necessarily have to go out and protest and go destroy everything. That's one way to do it, but that's not necessarily the answer. But many are still in their hibernation of just not wanting to see reality for what it really is.